Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clean Bold podcast. We are back with another video. And look, the World T20 is in the rearview mirror, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about it. Although I must say, this is unfortunately the last video we're going to do on the World T20 World Cup because unfortunately there are other things happening in the cricket world that we have to talk about. So today I'm joined once again by Santhosh. Santhosh, thank you very much for joining me. We're going to be doing a big deep dive, a review of the entire tournament. Where does it sit in the history books? How does it compare to other competitions? Are India now the best T20 side of all time? But we'll have a look through other things. What was who was favourite moments of the tournament? Feel good moments, best player, worst moments. Lots to unpack. But before we get into it, make sure you give this video a like, give it a share, and also hit that subscribe button because we've got some great content coming your way which you don't want to miss about. So let's get into it. Mati, first things first. It's about a week ago. Well, yeah, pretty much a week ago that the competition ended. Have you finished celebrating? How are you feeling 1 week on from the competition ending?
So 1 week later, the feeling is still mixed because as an Indian fan, it's a great sigh of relief because no other country has defended the T20 crown and as well as won it in their same host nation. So India has become the first country to do the both. So that is pride for us, and this I feel like this is a beginning of an era. So where India should start converting the semifinals to finals, finals to the championship. So this is what will give sustained global dominance for a country that to turn out to be a global powerhouse.
Yeah, I guess it's similar for me, in the sense that, yeah, very proud of, and it was such a great win. I think we were all, you and me, were expecting a much closer game, but obviously at the end it doesn't matter as long as India won. But yeah, it was strange because I think watching New Zealand bat, I was expecting, no, the run chase is gonna begin. The fight back is going to begin. They're going to start hitting, and it's going to be close. But it just never happened. Wickets
Yeah,
continued to fall, and even when India batted, I thought when the first wicket went down, okay, there's going to be 2 or 3 wickets falling, and they're going to stumble to 180, and I thought all these things, and they just never materialized. So actually, sometimes when you follow a team, you love a team, or you support a team, sometimes it's hard to see how good that team is. And I think that's probably the case with a lot of Indian fans. The way we look at our team, because we've been scarred in the past. Only recently we've got rid of the choking thing, and we have started to win. But there was a long period of time where we would get to semi-finals or finals and lose. So with that in our mind, we're so ready that something was going to go wrong, but it didn't. So
yeah,
that's good. I think, yeah, now that the competition is finished, it's time to look for the future. And I think India have been in this position before where it looks like they're going to dominate everything, and they don't quite do it. They don't quite dominate in the way that I think we're all hoping. With the money and the resources and the population and the amount of academies across on the IPL, India should be dominating. I think we are going to see a domination of the white ball team. I mean, look, they already hold the Champions Trophy. They've retained, first team to retain the T20, as you said, and obviously there's a 50 over World Cup next year. So India has a chance to do something historic by holding all three white ball competitions. For me, it's not the white ball team that I'm that worried about. It's the red ball team that I'm most concerned about because obviously we will talk about this in a different video with future Indian cricket. But just my one point on that is everybody's talking about 50 over World Cup in 2027. There's also another competition called the World Test Championship, which not having much thought about. I hope India still have. I mean, look, it's going to be very difficult because India, I think, are fifth or sixth at the table, which is stark contrast to what the white ball team is doing. But again, with the players that we have in the test team, or even the players are not even in the squad, we should be getting much better results. So I hope they will use this as a platform to also get the test team and put in a late charge to try and qualify for the World Test Championship because India needs to win that as well. But yeah, this is the question now. This Indian team, is this the greatest T20 side of all time?
in my opinion, this is the second greatest T20 side of World Cup. It is. West Indies 2016. They are the greatest T20 side
Oh,
of all
wow.
time
Okay, interesting.
because we have a good batting lineup. We can bat in eight. Yes, we've got multiple match-winning bowlers, and that has turned out to be a multiple match-winning bowler during the fag end of the tournament. And we are going aggressive from ball one, but we can't rely on only one particular bowler. So, like Matthew Hayden said, he said if a country is playing against India, they're playing only for 16 overs, not 20 overs, because 4 overs sorted by Bumrah, and he's not going to give an inch. But we don't have that kind of killer instinct. In my opinion, this is the second best T20 side of all time. So we had moments where people bowl in patches, but we didn't bowl like a proper bowling unit. When you happen to see 2024 tournament, we are comfortable, quite comfortable till the semifinals. So we were the dominant side. So we happen to see the actual side of Indian bowling in 2026 semifinals. So I'd say this is the second best team
In terms of batting, I think this might be the best T20 World Cup of all side. This
by a
Indian
country
batting
mile.
line. This is the best batting to it, not bowling. Nobody's going to remember. When we look at our bowling, only one. It's only one for one person. This is Jasprit Bumrah versus everybody else. Nobody will remember anyone else's contributions.
Yeah.
See, even Varun Chakravarti had equal amount of wickets as Bumrah, but nobody will remember that because how expensive he was. So yeah, I wonder what this team would have been like in a different country if it were in an England or Australia where there's not much spin going. I mean, how much runs Varun would have gone for, we don't know. Which is better, in your opinion, the 2024 win or the 2026 win?
See, for us, the 2024 win was the special one because after 2013 Champions Trophy, we haven't won a single ICC tournament. So we came so close in 2017 in England, and in 2019 in England, the World Cup in semi-finals. So we were so close as well. In 2022 ICC T20 World Cup, we got knocked out in semi-finals. But in 2024, came out of nowhere, and we were quite comfortable. And in the finals, I was under the impression that we are gone, and it's just a uh, they just gonna play run by run, and they're just going to kill us by 1,000 cuts. But we made the impossible possible. So that is something that is fresh in my memory. But that was an era where we have break all the jinx and break all the chains. But this one shows the sheer dominance of Indian cricket team, which I hope this will continue for next at least one decade. So we'll be proud about our Indian cricket setup, and we can be confident about the team. So if India is going to play, we'll be like, okay, we're going to win the World Cup. That's not an issue.
Yeah, I would say, I think, I don't know, it's difficult for me to think because it might just be recency bias because it's only happened a week ago. I feel like over time, 2026 might be more special to me for two reasons. One, in the 2024 final, I was very much still scarred by what happened in 2023. That what happened in 2020 really genuinely affected my view and love of cricket for quite a while. I just could not enjoy cricket for quite some time. I was so um, hyped about that final. Like I decorated my entire house with flags, and I got up at because it was got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, about an hour before the game. I was so hyped, thinking, "Oh my god, this is going to be such a special time." And obviously, we remember what happened. That killed my enthusiasm. That deflated my cricket enthusiasm for a long time. India were playing in a series in South Africa just a few months later. I was like, I can't watch. I can't watch. And I never experienced that in cricket. Like I literally physically can't watch because I'm still hurt by what happened. I did, and I enjoyed the win. And obviously, it was an iconic final. So I think maybe we had the better final. That's why it's still. But like I remember, I don't think about that tournament that much because I still carry the trauma. Whereas this one, a few years later, but also it's in India. It's the same place, so winning there kind of gets rid of that previous trauma, and I think it's a bit more special to win in front of Indian fans as well. I think, but let's see over time, that view might change. But I think for me, I would put 2026 just above 2024. But that is more of a personal reason than anything else. Now nobody can hurt us or attack us with the 2023 final. They might
Yeah,
try, but I don't think it will have the same effect. We can move on as a fan base from 2023. We don't need to think about it anymore. It happened. We've won 3 trophies since then.
yeah,
So I think it's okay. We can let it go now. And we have a chance of winning the 50th World Cup next year as well. That's the one
hopefully.
one benefit of these endless World Cups is that,
Yeah.
like you said, if you don't win the one, you can just win the next one. Where does this tournament rank amongst all the other T20 World Cups, in your opinion?
So India, since India won the first inaugural edition, for me it ranks the first because after winning that, we have given a ray of hope for the Indian cricket fraternity and as well as its fans, so that we can do something bigger and we can be a dominant force at least in one particular format. That is the way the IPL got inducted into the Indian cricket system. So I would rank 2007 top, then 2024 because I was also equally traumatized. So I was like, okay, we played like an OG Australian team till the semifinals, but we weren't a dominant force in the finals. So yes, it was a good thing for us to win in 2024. I would put 2020, 2007, 2024, followed by 2026 because we were here to defend the title and we were playing against the odd. But it was a great feeling for me. We were trophyless for 11 years. After many years, we got a trophy into a trophy cabinet. So 2024 was more personal to me as it was the final tournament for Virat and Rohit Sharma. So
Mhm.
that got so personal to me, and as well as the final 5 overs was a high octane stuff. So yeah, it is my second, and then comes this 2026.
But I think this might be the best one, not just for India winning. I think it's interesting because for 2020 cricket, for such an high octane, entertaining format, a lot of the 2020 World Cups are quite unmemorable. I look back at all the World Cups and there's a lot that I just don't remember what happened. 2014, I have literally I couldn't remember anything
Oh, I literally cried that day because we were
apart
literally
from where we
dominating the
lost.
end. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
it was
Again,
Virat Kohli's tournament against the opponent because he was the only dominant force and he got the man of the series. But when you happen to see the final 4 overs bowled by Sri Lankans, they were bowling on the dot, like Kumar Sangakkar mentioned. They bowled 24 Yorkers on the dot. They literally strangled Indian batting lineup, and that was a tournament which played a negative impact in Yuvraj's career. So that has literally ended his T20 career. So then came the 2016 World Cup where we came till the semi-finals, but we got trashed by the mighty Windies. So
yeah.
and 2000,
So
2021, that is a tournament that we are going to forget.
obviously it's helped because with this podcast I've been covering all the games or watching all the games, so not just in the Indian games. I equate it to like a football World Cup. Some of my favorite football World Cups is the games where I've watched all of them and I've been interested somewhat in any game, in random games. I remember 2014 World Cup was a fantastic World Cup, but I was ended up being excited about just games that had nothing to do with anything. Like I watched a Belgium Japan game on the edge of my seat. It was like one of the greatest games I've ever seen in the 2018 World Cup. But it was that's the beauty of a World Cup in any sport. Like you get to watch all this. So I think this ranks quite high for me. And I not just because India won, but I think the expanding of it to more associate nations, so we can see more countries playing cricket and playing good cricket as well. Doesn't mean anything if they come in and they're getting thrashed, or that it's just a thing. I think seeing more countries playing cricket and the gap starting to close a little bit, I think the format helps, but this is the best format to introduce other countries. We had Italy this year, and how good they were, such a nice breath of fresh air. But we had Nepal with their fans, and we had so many other countries taking part. Resurgence of Zimbabwe, for example. So just seeing more countries taking part, I think that's a really nice thing. Something that we'll definitely remember, and hopefully we see more of that. So that's why I think this will rank higher than any other tournament because there were so many exciting games. The quality of the batting as well is sort of the evolution of batting in T20 is just taken to another level. Like scoring 250 in a 2020 match is insane. Like it's an in like if you got 250 in a 50 over World Cup, you'd still be like, okay, so we India scored more runs in this T20 final than they did in the last 50 over final in the same ground, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, this is the best part. Other than India winning, the best part of the tournament for me was the new countries coming in and what they've brought and what it means for the future of the game as well. This is an exciting thing. Like Italy, will we see them in 2 years' time? We hope so. Nepal, they've got such a big fan base, and they really made a huge difference to the atmosphere of the competition. And the crowds were great in this tournament. So normally in an Indian tournament, we sort of see low crowds unless India are playing. But it was nice to see that other games had thousands of people coming to watch. You know, West Indies had to have a big you know what? I saw a comment on Facebook. I'm not going to mention names, but it was in some cricket related group I saw on Facebook. It was very rude towards Indian fans, talking about we don't respect other opponents and we don't have class and we're very like if another player does well, we don't appreciate it. And I was like, and I had to get involved, saying you're so wrong. This is really quite insulting. Look at New Zealand, for example, when they came to announce, share or interview them or whatever, second place or whatever. They got so much cheers. Each player got a cheer. The team got a cheer. So this thing, we do respect and have a lot of appreciation for other cricketing nations. Like the West Indies, they have a big following. Like I said, South Africa do. So it's I don't know what it is. I think it's just let's bash India on everything right now. It's the theme and the flavour of the month from other cricket, bitter other fans of other teams. But my point being, it was nice to see big crowds for non-India matches.
I think we got to break all the myths. Someone got to have a prejudice on Indian cricket team. Yes, they can have it because they support their own team. But against the Indian cricket team fans, even Indian cricket team fans in 1999, they gave a standing ovation to Pakistan cricket team.
Yes,
And
yeah.
so if they got to see that, they can say that in YouTube. They can see Wasim Akram talking about knowledgeable Chennai ground. That's what people used to address Chennai ground. So that was a closely contested game. We lost the game by 12 runs. But at the end of the day, they respect the good game of cricket and as well as they respect the opponents. So
Yes.
people got to know it's what
I
it is.
I don't normally enter into because if you go on any social media post these days, there's always going to be at least 5 or 6 comments that are going to upset you. But you have to just show maturity and walk away. But on this occasion, the whole thing was after the England-India game, and somebody commented that the Indians were kind of when Jacob Bethel got his century, that no Indians came up and shook his hand, and then
Why
nobody
should?
showed any appreciation. And he was like, "Well, we're in the middle of a tenth semi-final.
It's
It's
not a
not
test
the
game, honestly.
it's not a test game to think. It's not the and afterwards he got plenty of appreciation from not just the Indian players but the Indian fans as well. I'm pretty sure RCB was being chanted whilst he was
Yeah,
batting.
yeah.
So it's and he was like, oh, whenever I've gone to India, like you never see any. Sorry, I've attended lots of games, and when we went to Old Trafford last year, Ben Stokes got a big century. We all clapped when he got a century because that's what you do. So there's just this thing going around. Look, we're so bitter about India now being the number one, and we got to go after everything, even if it's just not. Even if now we have to make up things. So that's why I felt compelled to get involved to just quash this. Like, hang on, Indian fans are the most knowledgeable cricket fans on the planet, and we will always show love and respect to whoever we're playing because we want to play the game in the right way. The system and the authorities and the BCCI, and if you have a problem with that, fine, I understand that to a point, but no, don't touch our fans. We know our cricket, we know who what to do and how to behave. So that's just the point that I want to. And that should be evidenced clearly by what happened throughout the tournament, and especially in the final, the love that New Zealand got after they lost. We could have easily just not cared and cheered whatever Indian did, but we also made sure we showed some love to New Zealand because they have a lot of respect and love in India as well for their players and things like that. So just a very, very stupid thing. And actually, yeah, like you said, in the 2023 World Cup, there's a clip of a Pakistani fan praising the Chennai crowd for how knowledgeable and respectful they are. So yeah, anyway, you can't. There's no rehab for stupidity. So yeah, there's nothing we can do.
Off late, when you happen to see this huge generalization stuff that's happening online. So they equate BCCI with Indian cricket
In
team.
yes,
They equate
everything.
Indian cricket team with its fans. No, if you're gonna see all these different entities in your side, it's just the same in India as well. Just that BCCI is so rich, not Indian fans are rich. Not Indian fans can
Yeah,
manipulate this stuff, and it's a high octane game. We don't have time to appreciate someone else's milestone over there because we want our team to win, and we don't even know how to celebrate after winning the game because we just need a moment to take a deep breath, saying we got our nerves
who
properly.
who's going to come
So
and shake his hand in the middle of the game? It's not a. I mean, I don't remember when Sanju Samson got out. I don't remember any England fans coming to shake his hand when he got
no,
out.
not
But
at
again,
all.
but I didn't think that was an issue. I didn't even think, oh, why is nobody congratulating? We're in the middle of a semi-final. That the
Yeah,
time for that is in a test match, maybe not now. When we played in Old Trafford last year and Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja wanted to score their centuries, I don't remember many. I remember England were trying to end the game.
yeah,
So what's all that about? Like, where's the class gone then? Where's the respect gone then? You know, I don't want to get open that debate again, but yeah, it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only these kind of spirit of the game questions only come up when it's like England are upset or something. You know, that's the only time this kind of comes up. It's nonsense, actually. Um.
yeah.
Anyway, rant over. Okay, so what was the biggest disappointment of the tournament for you?
So honestly, the biggest disappointment of the tournament was the way South Africa played their semi-finals. They
Oh.
were literally dominating right from game one. Not from game one, barring from the Afghanistan game. They were a different team. But when we happened to see the semi-finals, that was a huge disappointment for me. I didn't see a team that is playing up to its potential. So there's a saying like the Indian cricket team peaked the time when their fans wanted them to peak, but the South African team choked the time when their fans wanted them to perform. So it was quite opposite. I've got all my confidence in South Africa. I was under the impression that they're gonna win this World Cup comfortably. Looking into the final venue, this will be a normal game between New Zealand and New Zealand. They don't have a better edge over South Africa, but that was a huge disappointment for me. But yeah, it's what
Yeah, I
it
mean,
is.
I don't know what to say. I actually haven't spoken to Kieran since, but yeah, you know what? It's funny. We did like a little game where we had to predict what happens to each team in the competition, but in only 3 words. And for South Africa, I said it happens again. I kind of meant it as a joke because I didn't fully believe it. I think I just said it to be funny, but it actually did happen again. And I was in disbelief, like watching Finn Allen destroy their bowling attack. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. So there must be something. And I know that a lot of South Africans were commenting on our videos, got a lot of South African comments sort of saying, oh, why are you guys still using this sort of choke tag? Those were all in the past. This is a new South African team. As well as maybe a new South African team, but it's still the same stuff, because that thing, whatever it is, that block or that mental thing, clearly that there's now a weight of history and it's being passed down generation to generation because it's the only way to explain it. They must get to a semi-final, they're on the pitch, and all the players must be consumed by, oh, it's a semi-final. We can't be another South African team that does it. We can't. This happened to our heroes. This happened to the AB de Villiers era. This happened before that. We can't. This can't happen to us. And now it's happened in the final, and then in this the last competition they're in the final, this in the semi-final. So yeah, it's just the pressure. And you know what? I feel really sorry for them because the pressure is going to increase even more for next year when they're playing in a World Cup in South Africa in the front of their own fans. I mean, if they don't do it next year, if this happens next year, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm not even South African, but I generally, if you're running South Africa, should we just quit cricket because if you do it in front of your own fans in South Africa, it's difficult to recover. Just ask
Yeah.
India. It takes a decade to get back to. So yeah, but I do feel sorry for South Africa and their fans. They do deserve one. And look, I want India to win the World Cup next year, but I would be kind of also happy if South Africa won it in front of their own people. That would be a really nice sporting moment. If you think of the history of South Africa, when they win something, it's always quite a big emotional event
Yeah.
because of what they've been through and the history of their country. It's just so when they win the World Test Championship next year, even I felt a little bit like, oh wow, I'm feeling something here, and I have no real connection to this country. But with everything that we've gone through, when they won last year, it was a nice moment. So I do hope that they can finally get off the kind of off the ground in that one. For my biggest disappointment is actually two in one. I'm going to say it's the other subcontinent countries, namely, I mean Pakistan and Sri Lanka, because we were looking at and look, India nearly were in this, but you were looking at a situation in a subcontinent World Cup, and we were looking at a situation where no subcontinent teams were in the semi-final. Um, Obviously, India managed to win, which is great, but very disappointed in the kind of performances of the other two teams, particularly actually Sri Lanka more than Pakistan, because Sri Lanka were looking quite good when they finished the group stages. I know they lost to Zimbabwe, but they beat Australia. They were playing well. In their game against England, they bowled and fielded really well. They restricted England to a low score, but they batted with some real stupidity. And then against New Zealand, they did the same thing. They're just common sense and logic in their batting. They were throwing wickets away, crazy shots in their home conditions. Sri Lanka really could have got to the semi-final. Actually, they really actually when they got to the Super, they have the path for them to get to the semi-final. You're going to be playing at home the whole time. You guys got to make it. You have to make it. To disintegrate the way they did was supremely disappointing. Pakistan again. Look, I don't know how their chances of doing it, but again, I thought they were going to make it somehow. I just had a feeling India and Pakistan are going to meet again. The rain game against New Zealand is not their fault, obviously. But against England, they didn't do enough with the bat. They didn't do enough with the ball. Against Sri Lanka, my God. So they could have won that game in the target that they needed to. I think they needed to either win by 60 runs or chase it in the 14th over or something. They had a chance to score about 240. They were on course for 240, 250, and they just completely, they just wasted their last 5, 6 overs. And then with the ball, I think, yeah, they nearly lost that game in trying to win it. So it just seems the skill standard and the where they are is a bit messy in Pakistani cricket. Yeah, but I feel like they could have still made the semi-finals, and they didn't. Ultimately, this didn't come down to skill, personnel. They just didn't do enough. It's their own fault. And I think with the Subcontinent World Cup, you'd expect the subcontinent teams to perform well, regardless of the Pakistan not playing in India, India not playing in Pakistan. They'd have to play. Doesn't matter in those conditions. Those three teams should be doing much better. Having just one team, and the gap is just increasing and increasing. India is just far better than any of the other of the Asian teams. And
So
yeah, I thought that was really disappointing that neither team made the semi-finals. Really disappointing.
when you see the pattern of late, it's just India, South Africa, England, New Zealand, and Australia. These are the five teams you can expect in semi-finals. Among these five teams, you can get a winner out of them. And barring New Zealand and South Africa, these three teams will be playing for the championship. So that is the pattern of late. But just like in Family Guy, they say, "Who else but Quagmire? Who else but Pakistan?"
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're their own nemesis.
They are their own nemesis. They shoot themselves in the foot, and it is funny. Don't get me wrong; it is funny most of the time. But from a cricketing, I'm not talking about an Indian fan or anything else. No politics attached to my answer here. From a purely cricket fan, it's infuriating. I don't even want them to win most of the time, but watching them is irritating. There's just like, what are you doing? Because it's like not entertaining for the rest of us when you just see this borderline stupidity in the cricket. When they played us, it was like, what are you guys doing? And then when they played Sri Lanka, I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, what is this? This must be. I can't even imagine following this team and pinning my hopes on this team. So yeah, but I thought that's the biggest disappointment for me when whatever inconsistency they show, for them not to make a semi-final when the path is laid, especially Sri Lanka, they should have beaten England, and they think they could have beaten New Zealand as well, and they just threw away both those opportunities when they should have won, and they should have been in the semi-final. That would have been nice for the two co-hosts to be in, but anyways, this whatever. Feel good moment of the tournament.
So mine is Sanju Samson's redemption story because he went from being questioned the earlier part of the tournament and becoming a player of the tournament, which is a stark contrast. So, and his performance in the knockout games was the main thing, main part of India being comfortably cruising towards the finals, and especially in the finals, he was just on a roll. He didn't care about his personal milestone, scoring a century in the big final. He wanted to play for his team, and he has performed well for his team, and that is the feel good moment. But for me, we tend to take Bumrah for granted because we for so we will know his actual value. Even myself, we will know his actual value once he's totally out of the circuit.
Um, I picked Italy's win in the World Cup. Um, Not just because it's Italy, but I think it was really nice that it was two brothers, Anthony and Justin Mosca, are winning, and the way they chased down that run chase without losing a wicket, it was just a really nice moment when you had these two brothers. They finally win a game. The embrace, the emotion. I can't even imagine what that would have felt like. Like it's just one end of the spectrum. We've got India winning in front of billions of people, that elation, but then think how that would have felt. That's their World Cup. I don't mean to patronize them, but I mean, what a big moment that is for that country, for that cricketing association, for those fans. They might have found some new fans. There might have been some people in Italy like, oh, whoa, we've won a game. What is this? So that's how they bring. So it was such a nice moment, I think. And two brothers doing it was a really nice moment. The way they embraced and the sort of scenes were quite nice. So that's what my feel good moment. I think the association in general, but having Italy's win and the sort of scenes when they won was really nice for me. Okay, we'll go through the next ones really quickly. Um, I think this answer's pretty obvious. Bowler of the tournament,
It's Bumrah.
just with Bumrah. Yeah, just we don't need to say anything else there. I think I know your answer to this one as well. Batsman of the tournament.
Sorry, Umar. It's just Sanju Samson for me.
Yeah, I know he wasn't the leading run scorer, but the fact that he nearly was, and basically only played in the second half of the tournament. Well, not basically, he did. He only came in for the Zimbabwe game, basically. So the
Yeah.
last 3-4 games to then be sort of second highest run scorer is pretty mental, actually. So yeah. And again, I think I probably can guess your answer. Player of the tournament.
Uh, it was Sanju Samson for the ICC, but it's for me personally, it should be handed over to Jasprit Bumrah.
So you're going Bumrah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go Sanju Samson then, just for a little bit of difference, yeah. Okay, I will finish with a little bit of fun. Tell me your team of the tournament, please.
Okay. Mine, I'll open with Sanju at one, Tim
Yeah,
Seifert at two,
yeah.
Ishan Kishan at three, Ivan Markram as the captain, followed by Shivam Dubey, Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, Mitchell Santner at 8, Jasprit at 9, and at 10, Shanley Van Skalvik from the USA cricket team because he has took 13 wickets in 4 games. So that is the reason I took him at number 10. And in 11, Lungisani Ingiri, and the 12th man will be Rachin Ravindra for me.
Okay, good, a good strong team. So I'll tell you mine. I had Sanju at 1, Aidan Markram at 2, Ishan Kishan 3, Jacob Bethel at 4. Um, I had Sikandar Raza 5, then Hardik Pandya, then Will Jacks, and
Honest.
then I then I had Jason Holder after Will Jacks, Adil Rashid, Lungi Ngidi, and number 11 is obviously the god himself, Jasprit Bumrah. But look, I mean, look, it's a hard one because all of your guys. I mean, you mentioned the USA player; he had the second highest wicket taker, so obviously, why would he not be in it? It's just I don't know. It's all down to personal preference in the end. But yeah,
But
cool. Well,
yours is
look,
more diverse, but mine is India centric. Sorry
I
about that.
yeah no, don't say sorry. I had a feeling yours would be more India centric, so I thought I can't also be very too India centric. So I tried to think who else was in the competition. Yeah. Um, Anyway, I guess that is it in terms of World T20 content. It's been a really enjoyable time covering the competition, and obviously we'll have to be this World Cup every few months, so it's okay. We'll be back with another World Cup soon. But now we will be concentrating on other forms of the cricket of cricket. You know, we'll be doing more grassroots level, our lot of the league system here in the UK, and just a bit more of that stuff. And also when the IPL is coming up, so we'll be talking about that and so much more coming this year. But Santosh, thank you very much, not just for today, but your contributions across the competition. We'll also be joining you. You'll be joining us for more videos in due course. But thank you very much. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for all your support across the World T20. We really, really appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. We've got so much more content. We're only scratching the surface. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. This has been a review of the World T20. India are the World T20 champions for a third time, back-to-back trophies. And yeah, it's in the history books now. So we will see you next time. I've been Sab. This has been Santosh. This has been the Clean Ball Podcast. And we'll see you next time.